Hello everyone and welcome back to The Other Castle.
The Other Castle, I'm Andrea.
My name is Tom.
And here on The Other Castle, we do the plot, lore, and more behind all your favorite video games. So we do the production, the creation, the release, and the actual game itself, even if it's spooky.
The spookier the better. If this is your first time listening to us, you can check us out at our website, theothercastlepodcast.com.
That's theothercastlepodcast.com.
Over there you can find links to our Instagram, to our Discord, our item shop, as well as our Patreon.
Our Patreon's $2 a month. We have a 7-day free trial, and we have monthly episodes both on and off season. We just did a fun movie night with our patrons really recently, and we have something fun coming up very soon for this month.
We do indeed, and we are so excited to bring it to you all. So yes, definitely check us out over there. But this week, we're doing the sequel to a game we haven't touched since season 4 of our show.
That feels like a fucking lifetime ago.
Right, but with enough bullying.
This was very light bullying. We are doing Dead Space today. I really enjoyed doing the first one. That was on the 2008 title Dead Space. And now we are doing Dead Space 2 Electric Boogaloo in Space.
Awesome, I'm so excited.
Now, I selfishly do enjoy the first episode that we did in this series, mostly because Tom has a delightful meltdown about the twist in that one.
Yeah, I really do.
So if you're down for a binge on some spooky space shit, you can start there. It is still fun. I listened to it not that long ago and was like, oh, okay, I don't hate this.
The problem is that twist will never work on me again.
It might.
Okay.
After the 2008 Dead Space game was released by EA Redwood to absolute critical success, the team immediately started working on a sequel. It happens. The first game sold around 1 million copies, racked up awards from the BAFTAs, and was praised personally by PlayStation as one of the cleanest games to ever be delivered for publishing to that point in history.
That is such an incredible thing that they did to write a letter unprompted just to say, you guys killed it.
Yeah, fully. They did not ask for this. They just got it and were like, God damn, okay. Now, a lot of that acclaim was accredited to the series creator Glenn Schofield. With the first Dead Space, he set out to create what he called the most horrifying terror game to date, and in 2008, absolutely succeeded. Here's where shit kind of switches up. Following the release of Dead Space 1, Glenn Schofield actually broke off from EA Redwood and went on to be the CEO and co-founder of his own studio, Sledgehammer Studios. Sledgehammer was responsible for 2011's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and a bunch of other Call of Duty games all the way up to 2023's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
So, wait.
The first Modern Warfare is the number 3, and then the next Modern Warfare was the Roman numeral 3.
Oh my gosh. So he did both Modern Warfare 3s?
Yes, and everything that kind of came in between for Sledgehammer.
Okay.
Now, the studio is most notably responsible for 2014's Call of Duty Advanced Warfare's Press F to Pay Respects meme.
He invented that?
That's him, baby.
Oh, an inventor of a meme.
I don't think he set out to do that. I think that was just a game mechanic, but god damn it, I love it.
You shouldn't set out to create a meme naturally like that.
Yeah, it's embarrassing if you try. He's since gone on to create kind of a symbolic sister sequel in the Callisto Protocol, and most recently has focused on his personal artwork with a featured showcase of his art in San Francisco.
Which we have covered, the Callisto Protocol, on the show.
It's fun. I liked it. I don't give a shit if you didn't. Back at Dead Space 2 base camp, EA Redwood had rebranded as Visceral Games in 2009 and made history as EA's first genre-based studio within their brand portfolio. Because of Dead Space being the horror juggernaut that it was, EA gave Visceral a lot of autonomy with crafting their own stories. Proverbially, they let Visceral do their own thing and didn't hover too much during the creative process. It's been noted by level designer Zach Wilson that EA also granted Visceral a $60 million budget for the second game.
Wow.
Ungodly amount of money.
And without the original creator on board.
Yeah.
Like BioShock 2 didn't get that.
No. They didn't even get their own world. So Visceral is left without the original creative mind, like you said, behind the franchise, and with much less supervision. And so much fucking budget when compared to the previous entry, so what could go wrong?
Oh, I hope a lot.
It's actually fine. While the Visceral team knew that they had successfully built a really strong original IP with the first game, internally they turned up the heat on themselves. Schofield had left and taken a handful of key team members along with him to Sledgehammer Studios. Visceral Studios celebrated their success, but also made it clear that they expected more with the next one. And on top of that, they also had another game in development, a hack and slash title called Dante's Inferno.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Dante's Inferno was released in 2010 to overall okay to like mid reviews, which is fine, but it's disappointing for a studio trying to prove itself as a powerhouse in gaming.
Yeah.
Once Dante's Inferno wrapped, the entire studio focused solely on Dead Space 2. They had as many as 150 team members crunching away at making Dead Space 2 all at once. Truly, all hands were on deck. With the focus on the Dead Space sequel, the team had big ambitions to get more people excited about the Dead Space franchise and establish protagonist Isaac Clarke as a video game icon. One game they looked to for some direction and inspiration is the 2009 Naughty Dog title, Uncharted 2: Among Thieves. That game was able to leverage the Uncharted original IP, reach a larger audience, and get more people to fall in love with the endlessly charming Nathan Drake. Plus, it was a critical and commercial success.
Gosh, Naughty Dog just continually influencing the gaming market so much.
Setting the bar so fucking high.
As soon as you said they wanted him to be like this like iconic character, I was immediately thinking, oh, like a Nathan Drake. And then you say
Like a Nathan Drake.
Right.
No, Naughty Dog did win a shit gang of Game of the Year awards and scored a bunch of perfect critical scores. And this title, Uncharted 2, sold around 7 million copies. So it's reasonable that they were like, that is the natural playbook for the second Dead Space. And Visceral was like, whatever they're doing, we're gonna go to Subway, we'll fucking figure it out.
Let's copy their homework real quick.
Yeah, we'll just change it a little bit.
Right.
Not that Isaac Clarke is like flying out through pirate ships and shit, but maybe he is. I don't know. We haven't gotten there yet.
Space pirates.
Yeah. One of the more acclaimed elements from the Uncharted franchise, and frankly most Naughty Dog games, are the beautiful movie quality cutscenes. The first Dead Space was fully immersive with no cinematic cutscenes. During plot-relevant scenes, the player could still move around to a certain extent and could always be playing or being active in the game world. Dead Space 2 began incorporating full mocap cutscenes. These scenes blend into gameplay, however, they were a notable pivot from the hard immersion scenes in the first game.
But they were using full mocap at the time.
Yes, absolutely.
Impressive.
Another huge note the team took from Uncharted is that the audience loves the unflappable protagonist Nathan Drake, played by BAFTA award-winning video game performance king, the incomparable Nolan North.
Ah, yes, we love Nolan North on this show.
Yeah. While Dead Space 1 had Isaac Clarke as a silent protagonist, Dead Space 2 cast actor Gunnar Wright as the voice and mocap performer for Isaac Clarke. Giving a voice to their protagonist and letting the audience get to know him better was a huge goal for this title. Gunnar Wright has cited part of his performance as Isaac was inspired by John McClane from Die Hard.
Hell yeah.
Not John McClane from Death Stranding.
Very different deliveries.
Yes. Production on Dead Space 2 took about 2.5 years, which in this day and age feels incredibly fast, but was admittedly still a sprint at the time. At the end of 2009, a press release came out announcing the game with this message on the sequel. Hero Isaac Clarke returns for another heart-pounding adventure, taking the fight to the Necromorphs in this thrilling action horror experience. New tools to gruesomely slice and dismember the Necromorphs complement Isaac's signature plasma cutter, empowering him as he meets new characters, explores epic zero-G environments, and fights against a relentless Necromorph onslaught. Survival isn't the only thing on Isaac's mind in Dead Space 2. This time, he calls the shots.
So the Necromorphs are back.
So is Isaac.
But it also means that you failed to stop the Necromorphs spreading.
Yeah, dipshit. You did okay in the first game.
Right.
So this is when the marketing cycle started. In 2010, Dead Space 2 was showcased at E3, San Diego Comic-Con, and Gamescom. Now let's take a beat and talk about marketing. In our Halo 3 episode, I absolutely fucking screamed about how the game had a $40 million marketing budget.
Right, but they made like a short film from it.
Yeah, and honestly, it like still feels insane. Like even with a short film, I'm like, that's so much money. A general rule in media is that you take the production budget to make the art and you double it for marketing. It has been generally confirmed that Dead Space 2's $60 million production budget was doubled for marketing, spending somewhere in the ballpark of $60 million on marketing the second Dead Space.
Holy shit.
How the fuck did Dead Space 2 spend $60 million?
And I know that it did not get the same return that Halo 3 got.
Yeah. So some of that money was spent on focus groups. That's natural. Every piece of public media does focus groups to see what sticks and what to focus on.
Very common.
I was once in a focus group for a video game that you've all heard of, I can 1000% guarantee, but I signed so many NDAs I can't even hint at which one it is. But Tom knows. But deadass, Dead Space 2 did the most punk rock as fuck marketing campaign I think I've ever seen, period. The team did a focus group that consisted of over 200 mothers who were individually filmed while watching footage of Dead Space 2. The moms were recruited in Middle America in the heart of conservative areas under the guise of a general media focus group. The team proceeded to take these regular-ass, pearl-gripping mothers and force them to watch gruesome dismemberments, horrific violence, and blood-curdling body horror, and filmed their reactions.
Oh my god, I think we'd call them Karens today.
Yeah.
So they made a bunch of Karens watch a bunch of bloody gore.
The campaign was called Your Mom Hates Dead Space 2.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And it all linked back to a website called yourmomhatesthis.com.
As brilliant as that is, like genuinely, that is freaking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
It's also kind of saying we're marketing this towards children.
So what? So the website's no longer active, just for what it's worth. I did try to like hunt it down and be like, what the fuck is this? But I didn't get to the web archives or whatever. The women were overall disgusted, with one saying, "This is why society is filled with criminals."
This game that hasn't come out yet.
Yeah. One woman accused the creators of the game of being on crystal meth. There's one video where they lie to a participant and just tell her the game footage is based on a true story about astronauts. And she's basically, well, damn, I disapprove of that. That's bad.
Yeah, I watched that commercial entirely, and it's funny because she's like, man, if that's true, that's some top secret shit.
Yeah. She's like, I shouldn't know this.
Right.
It's truly a marketing wet dream that this campaign happened, period. And regardless of how you feel about the game or the franchise, this is cool as fuck and needs to be studied. The ad campaign itself was attacked by a family advocacy group saying that the core concept of the ads was unfairly targeting children, despite the game's M for Mature rating.
There it was.
The group even wrote to the Entertainment Software Ratings Board, the ESRB, in anger over just the ad campaign. And the ESRB group was basically like, okay, and calm down.
Right.
That has nothing to do with us.
The Karens were mad at being displayed as Karens.
Yeah, girl, right? When your fucking ads are just so hardcore that family advocacy groups are mad about the commercials before the game reviews are dropped, you know you fucking did that shit.
Oh, that is one of those there is no bad publicity kind of situations.
Fully. And this was such good publicity.
Good, bad publicity.
Yeah. Now, there were other ads that ran. There was a tie-in armor set for Dragon Age 2 and a multiplayer element that really hyped fans up for the game's release.
Well, when I think Dead Space, I think Dragon Age.
Obviously. Those two are tied. Admittedly, EA was the one that pushed for multiplayer, not necessarily Visceral, but it all worked out in the end. Dead Space 2 came out in January of 2011 across PS3, Xbox 360, and PC, to the chagrin of conservative American mothers.
Ugh.
But to the delight of gamers worldwide. The game got really strong reviews, with most scores hovering around the 9 out of 10 scoring slot.
Wow, after losing the creator to get those kind of scores.
Fully. The first week, it sold around 2 million copies, which is huge. Again, doubling what the previous title did. Those sales were so strong, it did prompt Visceral into almost immediately starting production on Dead Space 3.
Well, hell yeah, after that first week, they got all the money they'd spent on it back.
Unfortunately, EA didn't love the return on investment from Dead Space 2.
Oh.
They're like, well, you did it, but we sunk millions of dollars into this project overall and personally and intentionally pissed off mothers across America. You know, the people buying video games for their kids. So what the fuck? The game overall sold around 4 million copies, which is fucking huge for the sequel. It was a lot more than the first Dead Space, which again, around 1 million, but unfortunately, Visceral Studios did close in 2017.
Oh, damn, that does suck.
Dead Space as a franchise was mildly revitalized in 2023 with a remake of the first game. This brought some hope to fans as the remake was widely enjoyed and brought Gunnar right back to perform as Isaac Clarke again.
Oh, okay. So they remade it, but gave him a voice this time around.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in April of 2024, EA has confirmed that they are not pursuing remaking this title, Dead Space 2.
Oh.
Now, before we hop into Dead Space 2, I want to give you a very, very, very quick overview of what happens in the first Dead Space. The protagonist, Isaac Clarke, a Gemini, is an engineering and ship systems specialist. He's a blue-collar, glorified mechanic who works on a spaceship. He's floating out in space. He watches a video from his girlfriend, this blonde girly pop named Nicole, when his ship is diverted to attend to a distress signal from a mining ship called the USG Ishimura. His girlfriend is a stationed medic on the USG Ishimura, so he's like, oh shit, my girlfriend! I gotta save her!
Mm-hmm.
When he and his crew get to the ship, it turns out the USG Ishimura has been overtaken by necromorphs, a mutated human that has rotted and become monsters that must be dismembered to be killed. Shit goes very wrong. There's also a cult called Unitology, and they worship the necromorphs, and they're trying to empower the necromorphs to rise up and overtake humans, believing that the necromorphs are the next natural evolution of our species.
As if space zombies isn't enough, we need a cult to worship them.
There's always a goddamn cult. They worship a double helix figure called the Marker. The Marker is important in Unitology because it unlocks the secrets to necromorphs and can activate the necromorph evolution. There's a marker near the USG Ishimura that caused the necromorph outbreak, and it becomes Isaac's fucking problem. There are some morbid hijinks on the mining ship, and Isaac barely escapes with his life, but unfortunately, he's been affected by the necromorph virus from interacting with the Marker.
That's right.
And he's in the early stages of losing his fucking mind. The last time we saw Isaac, he was having visions of Nicole, these ghostly apparitions of her. And it was also revealed that Nicole had unfortunately taken her own life prior to the events of the game. So before he even stepped foot on the USG Ishimura, she was dead.
The whole fucking time.
And unfortunately, the video that Isaac was watching captured her taking her own life. It's really fucked up. There is a short movie version of the first Dead Space game that came along with Dead Space 2, so new fans could catch up on Isaac's adventures to date, which I really appreciated because it summarized this in a much more detailed way, but for what we're getting into, that's kind of what you need to know.
Previously on Dead Space.
Yeah, so let's get into it. This is Dead Space 2. Isaac Clarke wakes up in a hospital on Titan Station on Jupiter's largest moon. Titan Station is a civilian space station on the moon, Titan. It's a huge metropolis with tall buildings, a bustling city life, probably a Margaritaville, you know the deal. Isaac is alive, but his mind is ravaged by the necromorph virus embedded in his brain. During his time on the USG Ishimura, he interacted with an object called the Marker. The Marker, again, massive, huge double helix figure that activates necromorph outbreaks. It was the reason for the necromorph invasion in the first game, and Isaac whole ass just fucking played with it in the last act of the last game. It caused him horrific visions, and it continues to decay his mind. The game opens with a video call from Nicole, Isaac's dead girlfriend, reaching out to Isaac. He wakes up and answers the call, clearly delirious from exhaustion. He says it's okay that it's so late and asks how she's doing. This is the first time we've heard Isaac talk, and honestly the best look we've ever gotten at him at his face so far in the franchise. Off the bat, he's immediately a little gruff, but he is charming. Nicole is excited to gush to her boyfriend about how cool the USG Ishimura is, and she's so grateful to Isaac for pushing her to pursue her dreams and become a medical officer on the ship.
Oh, God.
He's like, hell yeah, I miss you, but I'm really proud of you. Good for you. The call gets choppy, and the camera pulls out of the video call to the present, where we know Nicole has been dead for a while. She has, in fact, again died on the USG Ishimura in the midst of the necromorph outbreak and took her own life to avoid a more violent end. In the present, Isaac is talking to Foster Edgars, a scientist on Titan Station, who's interviewing Isaac about the visions he's been having about Nicole. Isaac is heartbroken to be snapped back into reality, but continues to have ghostly visions of Nicole in the room, telling him that she loves him. Foster Edgars continues to interview Isaac about the USG Ishimura and what happened when Isaac responded to the distress call. Isaac's visions of Nicole change into visions of the marker itself, this huge red structure with two bends curling around each other as they ascend into the sky. Isaac tells Foster Edgars that the marker spoke to him. The visions of the marker release a bloodied and pale vision of Nicole, who climbs through the nothingness closer and closer to Isaac's face. Foster Edgar asks Isaac what was the message the marker gave him. Nicole's eyes and mouth glow white with light, and she tells him what she told him through the entire first game and answers Foster Edgar's inquiry. Make us whole.
Yes, make us whole again.
Isaac's vision is full of ghostly Nicole. Foster Edgar's voice rings out asking if Isaac is still with him, if he can even still hear him. All Isaac can see is what's left in his mind of Nicole. And then he passes the fuck out. Isaac wakes up to another guy, Franco DeLille, shining a flashlight in Isaac's eyes. He relays into a walkie-talkie that he found Isaac. Isaac is disoriented and realizes he's in a straitjacket. Franco is the protagonist of Dead Space Ignition, a short prequel puzzle game that came out about 3 months prior to Dead Space 2.
Did they do a remix of it?
No, there's no remix to this Ignition.
Okay.
Franco's walkie-talkie friend tells him to be careful because Isaac has been out there for a long time. Isaac has, in fact, been in this facility for 3 years following the events of the USG Ishimura.
Oh, damn.
Franco reassures Isaac that he's okay, and he knows he's confused, but they have to move now because they're in a dangerous situation. As Franco warns Isaac about the dangers they are imminently facing, he is immediately impaled by a necromorph.
Oh, that's what we're facing.
A sharp stinger drives through his chest from behind, and his blood splashes across his chest like a gusher. The necromorph wraps its long, sharp, bug-like arms around what's left of Franco as the warmth escapes his body for the last time.
Oh, poor guy.
Franco screams, and his back opens up to release his own set of sharp, bug-like arms as he immediately transforms into a necromorph.
Holy shit, that is a fast transformation.
They're getting worse.
Right.
His head juts up from his neck, and as it does, the motion peels his flesh off of his body.
Of course it does.
You're like, well, that's the natural thing to happen.
Yeah.
As Franco begins to outgrow his old body and adjust to his new one, Isaac shoulder checks the shit out of him and runs away.
Good.
Now, I'm saying necromorph a couple times. We went into this in a lot of detail in the first games episode, but it is the natural evolution of humans per the unitologist, which is a lie. It is this form of alien that is very long, very thin, very sharp, and very aggressive. So they're hairless, they're angry, they're skinny. A lot of the flesh gets rotted off them. The hair certainly gets rotted off of them. They are very bug-like, and they have long extremities. They're horrible.
But they have to take over a deceased human.
Yes.
Fucked up.
It is fucked up. The player finally enters gameplay with Isaac as he sprints in a straitjacket through a dark area with lots of hospital holding cells that are now crawling with necromorphs. He sees 2 guards with similar suits to Isaac's iconic Dead Space fit, who are surprised to see Isaac, but then are quickly killed by necromorphs. Over the loudspeaker, Isaac hears, "This is Director Tiedemann. To all project personnel, I want the key subjects terminated and the facility scrubbed. This is not a drill."
Glass this motherfucker.
Well, shit. Director Hans Tiedemann worked for the Earth Government Colonial Alliance as the Director of Operations here on Titan Station. He's in charge of all the facilities, coordinating efforts with EarthGov, and basically keeping shit in check. He's also a Nepo baby, as his grandfather actually once ran Titan Station. He says his life is dedicated to keeping Titan Station safe at all costs. Isaac sees files and logs of other people who are held in this facility while he navigates his surroundings. He watches one video of another man who's been held in this facility. This guy's name is Nolan Strauss. Nolan is being interrogated the way Isaac was by Foster Edgars. Foster orders that Strauss's medication be increased and he be put back in stasis at the end of his session. Isaac moves on and to this point has been very quiet, perhaps as a natural reaction to being surrounded by necromorphs. So, I get it. Or, maybe just because he fucking woke up and doesn't know what's happening.
He's been in a coma.
Yeah. Isaac ends up in an observation deck and runs into Foster Edgars. who jumps him. Foster squeezes Isaac's neck, remembering the marching orders that all key subjects must be eliminated. He holds Isaac's life in his beefy little wrists and brings a blade to Isaac's neck just as Isaac starts bargaining. Isaac tells him they can both get out of here, just cut him out of the straitjacket. Foster Edgars does just that, cuts him out, and as he looks at Isaac, he tells him, "There's no escaping from what I've done." Isaac tells him, "Hey man, take it easy. I get it. Shit happens. There's necromorphs. Shit's crazy. Just let me out. Thanks for cutting me out. What the fuck?"
I've done this once before, don't worry.
Foster stands still, looks at Isaac, and says, "Isaac, we're all gonna burn for what we did to you." Foster takes in the sight of Isaac, now freed from captivity. He takes the blade he held to Isaac's neck, and he drags it across his own throat.
Oh, worst way. God, that is just... Oh, for yourself is... Oh, no thank you.
You look uncomfy.
I'm immediately uncomfortable. That's the worst.
I'm so sorry I keep wanting to do these horrific body horror games. The lore is cool, though.
Oh, knife stuff is just so fucked up.
With his last breath, Foster Edgars chokes on his own blood as it geysers through his windpipe, and he collapses at Isaac's feet.
See, you go into that kind of detail afterwards, really.
Let me wax poetic. Isaac grabs a flashlight and heads out, and as he does, he gets a video call from a frantic blonde woman. It's not Nicole, don't worry. This is Dana, and she introduces herself as the one trying to rescue him. She matter-of-factly tells Isaac he is suffering from a form of dementia from his experience with the marker and the horrors he experienced 3 years ago on the USG Ishimura. Isaac takes a beat and is like, "Hello, stranger. How do you know me? How do you know this about me? What's up?" She doesn't answer because she simply doesn't have the time because necromorphs.
Right.
And she tells Isaac that this kind of dementia will 100% kill him unless he connects with her and gets to safety. Isaac isn't dumb. He asks her why he should trust her. She simply says, "Because I'm not the one shooting at you." And that's good enough for Isaac.
Fair enough.
Dana sends him a path to follow to get to her and ends the transmission. The power has been cut in most of the facilities, so Isaac goes full fucking Outlast and only has a flashlight to guide him through this decrepit and overrun with bloodthirsty fucking freaks area.
Yeah, what the fuck are you supposed to do with that?
Look at where you're going. Massive shadows of spider-like necromorphs haunt the halls while Isaac navigates out to Dana. Isaac comes up on other victims of the hospital, many of which are in deep peril. Isaac sees a lot of them die, but through this, he's able to hook himself up with both a kinesis weapon and his trusty plasma cutter.
Oh, the best weapons.
The kinesis lets Isaac pick up heavy shit and fling it at enemies without lifting a finger. It feels amazing every time. The plasma cutter lets Isaac disembody the necromorphs. It's the iconic weapon from the first game.
Did they put as much detail into the disembodiment in this one as they did in the first game?
A lot of that did roll over. So a big portion of the first game was that no matter where you sliced a necromorph or an enemy for that matter, that's exactly where the line would be cut across their character body. So it wasn't a situation where if you shoot someone in the hand, their arm falls off at the elbow, which is really annoying in gaming.
Right.
They made it very customizable because of the detail they put into this. It was just so appreciated, so worth it, and it does roll over here.
I'm really glad they kept that element.
It's so good. Dana does radio into Isaac to warn him that he'll need to cut off the limbs of the necromorphs in order to kill them. He says, "Thanks. I've had a lot of fucking practice." At least it's not spelled out in blood this time around.
I was gonna say the same damn thing.
Really?
I was just like, yeah, last time it had to be written on the wall in fucking blood, so at least this time somebody's just verbalizing it.
Yeah. They went a little subtle for this one. The facility is in full oh shit mode, with necromorphs flying out of the shadows and falling out of the walls. There's corridors that are blocked off due to the security systems going off, and Isaac starts chatting up Dana. He asks, "Hey, how'd this fucking happen?" And Dana tries to answer. Her signal gets jammed. Go fucking figure. She blames Tiedemann, the leader of this facility. She says he's out to get them, and he'll harm Isaac if he finds him. Dana does promise to Isaac that they're in this together, so she's the best ally we have so far in this shithole. Isaac makes it to an elevator where, alone and deep in the dark, he has a vision of Nicole, who lunges at him and says, "Make us whole," before she disappears.
Oh, this bitch.
It's kind of her whole deal.
Yeah, but at least it kind of reveals that her lunging at the end of the first game was a ghost in that time.
Correct. She's not a necromorph.
Right.
She really is just some hallucination he's having because his mind is warped.
Oh, man.
Isaac kills more necromorphs, still morphing and outgrowing the hospital scrubs and facility outfits they had on at the time of the outbreak. The facility's emergency power flickers, but mostly keeps Isaac in complete darkness. Then, Isaac finds an in-game store, which is just a mechanic of the game, and steps into a small walk-in closet where he is instantly fitted with a mixed-media metal suit, complete with a full helmet and scuba-like health bar along his spine. He's suited up, and we're back, baby!
Hell yeah.
With a fully kitted out Isaac, his gun, kinesis, and overall fighting strategy skills are met with a monstrous necromorph. It has 2 long arms and 1 weird long tail and hops around like a tripod. The whole thing is probably about 10 feet tall, but it has really long, lanky arms, so the plasma cutter makes quick work of it. Isaac runs over and stomps on its corpse, which is just a perfect Dead Space moment. It's not Dead Space without a little curb stomping. Isaac leaves the facility. Catching his breath, he radios back to Dana to get more information. She tells him that Tiedemann found Isaac 3 years ago, floating out in space, and wanted to study him. She tells him that the marker he found is deteriorating his brain. The marker was the thing that activated the necromorphs, and there's a virus from the marker destroying his mind. She says the longer he's awake, the more it's gonna fuck him up, because it's killing him. Then she tells him to get his shit together and sprint over to a nearby tram station and get the fuck away from the facility. Isaac steps out into Titan Station to head towards the tram, and Dana, and hopefully some answers. Upon leaving, a message rings out from Director Tiedemann declaring martial law due to the outbreak across all of Titan Station. It's never a good thing when martial law is enforced.
Not usually, no. I'm just very confused by his goals now because, one, he wanted everybody killed at one point. Now it's like, okay, let's just lock everyone down. What's the next fucking goal?
We wanted everyone in that facility dead.
Yeah.
All the test subjects specifically.
Which doesn't make sense because that instantly turns you into a fucking necromorph.
So you have issues immediately.
His plan is not planning.
Okay. Well, we don't know what everyone's motivations are, Tom.
I don't know shit.
I know you don't trust yourself based on how you experienced the first Dead Space.
Exactly.
So, grains of salt all around.
There was one point where I said the bad guy is the only person you can trust in this game.
Kendra. You were like, Kendra's the best. Kendra was a double agent
Right,
who
the whole fucking time.
only wanted destruction and pain from everyone else involved.
I already don't trust fucking anybody in this one.
As you shouldn't. Director Tiedemann says that all citizens are ordered to evacuate and that looters will be shot on sight. And he reiterates, this is not a fucking drill. Even though Isaac is voiced in this game, he doesn't have a lot of personal commentary. People are dying around him, the city is being evacuated, everything is chaotic, and he's relatively still pretty quiet, which feels weird. Making his way downtown into an apartment block on Titan Station, another escaped patient from the hospital sees Isaac and calls out to him. Isaac looks out, and it's Nolan Strauss. We saw one of his torture videos in the hospital. Hey, buddy. Nolan tells Isaac, it's the drugs! They gave us drugs to make us forget. Isaac has more questions, but gets distracted when a necromorph climbs over a railing, aiming to impale him. Isaac radios Dana to confirm if the entire Titan Station is infected, because, this sucks. Is there anywhere that's safe? He destroyed the marker in the last game, and he did it personally. So, what the fuck? Why are there necromorphs? Dana's like, yes, you did destroy the marker, but Tiedemann made another one here under the direction of EarthGov. She's like, he wanted the power it yielded, and now we're in the shits. Again, Isaac has a lot more questions, but the signal cuts out.
I do too. You can make another marker?
You are able to make man-made markers, which I don't really understand how that works, but again, I went to state school,
It's space magic, it's fine.
It is space. Yeah, we're in space, Tom. We made a joke in the Death Stranding episode about Death Stranding being a walking simulator and that being a Firewatch moment. But in this, I really feel like Isaac and Dana have a Henry and Delilah Firewatch relationship.
Oh, nice.
Because the woman is on the other end of the walkie-talkie, knowing way more about this world, and the man on the other end is trying to make sense of it all.
Just kind of a dumbass stumbling through it all?
He's not a dumbass.
Okay.
He is stumbling through it all. Isaac makes it to the tram station and gets to use his college degree to hack the tram into running again so he can escape. It's always nice when you can actually use your education to get some shit done. I wouldn't know. I have a creative writing degree.
Yeah, you do this podcast.
Well, on that note of my creative writing degree, life's pendulum sways as Isaac balances his body along the moving tracks. At one point, he jumps between moving train cars that have been detached and does a free-falling fly through the sky, which is classic Dead Space. He tumbles out of the tram car as it crashes and falls through to another building where he's trapped and suspended upside down by his ankles as an onslaught of enemies approach him. He sways from his trapped ankle and shoots upside down as a wave of enemies just come after and after him.
Just like Joel.
You're right, it happened to Joel Miller, it happened to Michael DeSanta, and honestly, every time it's fun. I really enjoy that. Isaac wiggles free and Dana gives him directions to a residential area. They're getting closer, and Dana reiterates she's very much invested in his safety, and he's like, okay, cool, talk to you later. Isaac passes a candy store, and a bunch of tiny necromorphs come out to attack, implying the new existence of child necromorphs.
Oh, fuck. Little newts running about.
Are you referencing child zombie newts from Days Gone?
That's the only other place I've seen child fucking zombies before in a video game so far.
It is really fucked up to show children going through things. Like, it feels like such an elevation to show a variation of the enemy as a baby. Like, it's a 7-year-old fucking tortured child thing. Ugh.
Yeah, I was gonna say also, I guess Stick of Truth, we had Nazi zombie babies in that one, but...
This is among those ranks.
Right.
After going full Anakin Skywalker on this small horde of child necromorphs, Isaac gets a video call from Nolan Strauss, our homeboy. He's frantic and he's like, Isaac, this fucking sucks. He asks Isaac if he's getting his memories back. Nolan is starting to remember some things, but he knows they were both administered memory-suppressing drugs in that facility. He says he keeps seeing the symbols. He keeps seeing his face. We don't know who he is. Then, before he's able to clarify his statements, he says, oh shit, they found me! And the signal cuts out.
Oh, damn it.
Always a great way to end a conversation.
Right.
Isaac immediately calls Dana to gossip, and he's like, hey girl, hey, there's this crazy guy who keeps calling me that was back at the facility with me. Dana is fully caught up and is like, yes, that was Nolan Strauss. He was also a patient at that facility. And Isaac is like, cool. Not gonna ask how you know that, but what's his fucking deal? What was he in for? What does he want from me? And Dana just super bluntly says, he's a psychopath, Isaac. He murdered his wife and son.
Oh, fuck.
Isaac says, okay, I'll be careful, and just moves on with his life. Out in the main city space past some stores and salons, there are large banners and signage promoting unitology. Isaac has stumbled into a unitology recruitment center. Now, unitology is a hierarchical pay-to-prey religious cult that essentially worships the marker and the necromorphs. It was founded by a guy named Michael Altman, who oversaw the study of the first known marker. The unitology core value is that humans are an invention of aliens, and through evolution via the marker, the human race will ascend to greater beings. It's a bit of a death is only the beginning thing as well, where a human death is a step towards the unified eternal life in the beyond. This is an excerpt from a unitologist prayer. Through convergence, we all become one. One mind, one being, one flesh. Divine ascension awaits the faithful, beyond the flesh and through the marker.
How does this fucking religion survive?
Amen. Well, money.
Oh, yeah.
It's pay to pray.
That's true.
The prayer mentions a convergence event. A convergence event is when a marker is truly fully activated. The necromorph virus spreads rapidly and washes over the entire surface of wherever the marker is, causing all beings to submit to the marker and evolve as necromorphs. It's bad.
I just do not understand following something that's just gonna kill you.
You used to smoke cigarettes.
That's true. I wasn't following fucking Joe Camel around.
You should have. He also was appealing to children. You know, there's a lot of parallels between cigarettes and Dead Space 2. Isaac's mom was actually very involved with the Church of Unitology and gave their families every spare dollar to the church. While Isaac was very bright, he wasn't able to afford to go to better schools because of his mom's reckless religious spending, and he had to go to a state school instead. Isaac's a little annoyed at Dana because she's the one sending him down this route through, like, literal trauma. But she insists it's one of the fastest ways to get him through the city and to safety, so he deals with it. Isaac deals with it, but he fucking hates it. He's almost immediately jumped by a bunch of varying necromorphs and is met with persistent propaganda wall to wall all around him. There's a lot of bullshit signage encouraging people to sign up for the church, donate more money, shit like that. The Unitology Recruitment Center is largely abandoned with the exception of necromorphs and ravaged corpses. Dana's path for Isaac leads him through waste management, which is held in a zero-gravity area and handles in a really cool way, where he floats amongst loose space trash to traverse this area. It's oddly peaceful, but then we're immediately back to stomping out necromorphs. Isaac makes it to the residential apartment block Dana has been trying to navigate him to, the Cassini Towers. The apartments are small and cramped with dirty hallways connecting each home. There's lit candles all across the grounds, even though the emergency power is still on.
It's insane to me, the progression from being in a dead ship for the first game, and we're in a full-blown city.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I just think that's a really big jump that they made.
They were very ambitious with this title. They were like, fuck, we were in a very enclosed area. It's almost like a bottle episode situation of just one ship. Now you have a city on a moon.
It's fantastic escalation.
I absolutely agree. Because the evacuation is in effect here, there are no civilians around, but there are necromorphs emerging from the stragglers. There are also a lot of Unitology symbols across most of the homes. It appears a lot of really devout Unitologists had lived here. There's symbols of the marker and writings and insignia across all the homes. Isaac enters a child's room where there's a lamp with a spinning carousel horse illuminating the walls. Gentle music is still playing from before the child was either killed or evacuated. As Isaac steps into the center of the room, he doubles over in pain and falls to his knees.
Don't be down at child level, not in this fucking room.
You're immediately upset.
Yep.
Then, he sees a bloodied version of Nicole.
Oh.
She looks at Isaac and tells him she doesn't want to die.
Too late.
Jesus Christ, Tom! Isaac tells her, "You're not Nicole. Nicole is dead."
We covered this. I freaked out about it.
So in the first game, all the chapter titles, the first letter of each chapter title in order, spelled
Nicole is dead.
And I showed Tom on my iPad and said, look at all the chapter titles, and he said, fuck you. As Isaac tells the vision, "You're not really here," she disappears, and he's able to stand up again. Because, again, Nicole is dead. Isaac shakes this off alarmingly fast and continues to navigate to Dana. On a landing, Isaac sees a huge gunship with spotlights. They're Tiedeman's soldiers, and they've been looking for Isaac since the facility outbreak. He's been spotted. Tiedemann wanted all the test subjects eliminated, and that definitely includes Isaac, so he's like, ah, shit, that's bad. He radios Dana to tell her he's being followed. She's like, oh, come the fuck on, you're almost here. Just fucking run, dude. She really told him to just, like, get over it.
Speedrun this shit, bitch.
Yeah. Further in the towers is a Unitology shrine. There's a small statue of the marker and writings and symbols on the wall all about Unitology. There's lit candles everywhere. This is, like, clearly a place of worship. This is also a place of a shit gang of necromorphs. This would have been a great opportunity for Isaac to talk shit, but he's a better person than I am and just quietly stays on mission. Past the marker and the worship area is just a straight-up Unitology propaganda room. There's these goofy-ass museum-quality recordings describing the founding of Unitology, the assassination of the founder of Unitology, and how the church continues to grow and worship the marker. It's basically their carousel of progress.
Like, all I'm imagining is basically this is a church that worships feral people with rabies that, like, run around screaming and killing everything in sight, and they're like, ah, yes, the supreme being.
Not only that, they have to pay for the privilege of worshiping the rabid humans.
No, you go to a circus to pay to look at them. At most.
Worst case scenario, you see them while they're understudy.
You didn't see people, like, worshiping Wolf Boy. Oh, I know. I'm not trying to make fun of Wolf Boy, but, like,
But, like,
that's like a classic circus freak.
do you remember the Twilight years?
Oh, my God.
There were millions of people
Taylor Lautner and shit.
worshiping Wolf Boy.
All right, fine. You win.
I'm a nightmare to argue with. Isaac gets up to a room with huge stained glass windows when one window is suddenly shot out. Dana comes on comms and alerts Isaac that Tiedemann has found him and instructs him to run into the adjacent church area. Isaac hides out in the church and radios to ask Dana, "Why here? I hate this." Dana explains that due to the regulated separation of church and state on Titan Station, areas in the church can't be monitored by EarthGov. So, right here, Isaac is relatively safe from Tiedemann. She's kind of a genius. Isaac pushes back to Dana, saying, "This is a terrible idea. I hate this." Dana cries out that her brother died trying to save him, so please trust her on this. Isaac is like, "Ugh, fine." And, like, we don't know her brother, so this is news to us and doesn't feel as weighty, but Isaac sucks it up and is like, "Ugh, fine, I'll go through the fucking cult church. I hate this." Dana says she'll meet Isaac at the top of the church, so we'll finally break the illusion of the mysterious woman on the phone. During the journey to Dana, there are some Unitology cult officials who are now necromorphs, but still have some of their church formal robes on, which looks so fucking cool design-wise.
I wonder if there's like a hierarchy too when you're like still wearing that to the worshippers.
Oh, if they can recognize the symbolic notion of the cloth.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope so. That's fucking cool. The cloth itself are these black robes with gold trim lining hanging off of their long, creepy alien bug bodies, and it's just, it's such a cool character design to have the cult members still peeling their clothes off their flesh while they turn into monsters.
Some people had some serious church trauma.
Ugh, who doesn't? Isaac gets flashes of Nicole while he's alone. She tells him she's cold and he can't run from this. Again, he says nothing and just moves on with his life. Isaac goes through an air vent to get to a room deep in the church. As he does, and he pushes himself through the vent, he's jumped. A woman is holding a syringe to his eye and pressing down.
Oh, no.
He fights her and holds her arms back and realizes it's a physical apparition of Nicole. She screams, "Make us whole," while she drives the syringe at him. His helmet is off and we see Isaac's fear flash across his face. Just as quickly as Nicole attacked, he has a flash and she's gone. But Isaac's hands are still wrapped around the syringe he was fighting.
Oh, God.
As he realizes she wasn't there, he drops the syringe, redeploys his helmet, and then he just fucking moves on without comment.
What the shit? Was he fighting with himself? Did she actually bring one into, like, existence from the fucking nether?
This is a great question.
Oh, fuck. And he is not asking any of them.
Nah. No answers, no context. Fuck you. Now, I know there's discourse around protagonists being too chatty, particularly Deacon in Days Gone, for example.
Right.
But they hired a whole-ass actor to voice Isaac, and he's still so fucking quiet.
Well, Devil's Avocado.
Okay.
You're coming off a game where he was a silent protagonist initially.
So you have to ease into it?
You do, yeah.
You can't go from 0 to 60 on chattiness.
Literally 0 to 60.
A nice, that's a bummer.
He's not going to go from Link to Peter Parker.
Fair enough. But this middle ground still feels like there's a gap in reaction where he almost doesn't feel human at points.
No, that's fair.
Just as Isaac gets to a meeting point where Dana is, he's jumped by massive necromorphs and they fuck up the doors. Dana pivots the plan to have Isaac go through the funerary wing and the crypt. She warns him it's very important to not... And then the line cuts out.
They keep doing that.
They do, and Isaac doesn't find this funny. I don't find it funny. It's just like, come on, man.
This shitty reception.
The funerary wing is everything you'd imagine. Dark, solemn, crawling with evolved, bloodthirsty alien bastards. The usual. The crypt is even worse. It's cold and clinical and gray. Unfortunately, due to more data interference and drama, Dana can't come down there, so she reroutes Isaac yet again. In a large cathedral area, Isaac encounters a 30-foot scorpion-like necromorph and enters a really well-designed battle arena.
Holy shit. So, would you say that the character designs on the Necromorphs were more elevated this time around?
I do feel like we got a really good sense of variety in this one. There is a good variety in the first Dead Space of different levels of necromorphs, where there are some that are like 80 feet tall and shit like that. But with this one, we get more variety and more touch points, especially having the child ones.
Oh yeah, the child ones, those are so fucked up.
So yeah, I think they did elevate a lot of the character design of the necromorphs in this title.
So they didn't touch the things that didn't need to be touched, and they just really enhanced all the other aspects of it.
Yeah, they did a lot of adding, not subtracting and not pivoting.
That's so great.
Yeah, it's a great way to evolve a series, especially in a series about evolution.
Yeah, it's how you're supposed to do a sequel.
A good sequel. The big necromorph here is accompanied by a small legion of small necromorphs to the point of having more, and then larger priest necromorphs. It's a great battle set piece. Isaac hears Nicole's voice telling him that he tried to kill himself and to let his pain fester. Which is creepy, but Isaac shakes it off. She seems to be haunting him more and more as we keep going, but he keeps moving on so he can meet Dana and hopefully get a solution to this shit, because it's weird.
This poor guy is just descending further and further into madness himself.
I know. After all this bullshit, Isaac finally gets up to Dana's coordinates. He's been following these steps since he woke up in the facility, and it's been such a long goddamn day.
She was already in a helicopter taking off from the fire. Oh, wait, no, that was Firewatch. Never mind.
That's Delilah.
Ah, got it.
Isaac takes an elevator up to Dana's location, and after he steps off the elevator, he's jumped by two unitology goons.
Oh, of course.
The two men hold Isaac still as he looks up at Dana, the woman who led him here. She is in a full unitologist outfit.
Oh, son of a bitch. And I do mean bitch.
Dana was a devout unitologist cult member the whole time.
The whole time, this fucking Bioshock bullshit.
Would you kindly follow these coordinates to meet me in the unitology church?
Oh, good God. Of course she's a cult member. They're everywhere.
And she led him straight into the heart of the cult. Isaac is like, oh, God damn it, why did I trust you? And Dana says, well, you didn't have a choice. Which is kind of fucked up. And she's like, you thought I could help you with your space dementia. You literally have no other option. Isaac, while he's restrained, asks Dana, why are you doing this?
Why are you like this?
Why can't everyone leave me alone? He says those words, and that's the most I've ever felt him. I'm like, absolutely. Everyone should leave you alone.
He was a fucking maintenance man.
He's a mechanic.
Yeah.
He's an engineer. He, like, hacks into shit. You know, he's supposed to, like, take a wrench and wrench things.
Not even supposed to be here today.
Dead fucking ass.
Oh my God.
Dana faces him and tells him that he is a dangerous secret. She says EarthGov won't leave you alone because they're afraid you'll destroy their marker. After all, you built it.
No fucking way.
Isaac has no idea what the fuck she's talking about.
I mean, it's kind of easy to figure out, Isaac, but I guess you've been dead.
He's been a vegetable.
Yeah.
Isaac has no idea what the fuck she's talking about, again, because he was in kind of a stasis situation at the facility. He was a fucking spaceship engineer 3 years ago, before all this drama. Why would he give a shit about their marker? Dana explains, that's why we brought you here, to build markers for us, to spread glorious convergence to the entire galaxy. It was her plan to use the disease in his mind to spread more cult propaganda, since he was the one to actually see the true marker. In his mind, the marker has left the blueprints to build more markers and trigger more necromorphs. That same disease giving him visions of his dead girlfriend is also the key to spreading the necromorph virus through the universe.
So it's kind of all your fault.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
But, like, it's not his fault, it's his fault.
No, I know, entirely.
Tiedemann's orders were to kill him and put an end to all of this. Unitology's orders were to protect Isaac as an asset.
Well, shit. So, there's two sets of bad guys, but one of them wants to keep you alive, so let's run with them for a minute.
Isaac, being held, is like, oh, you people are unbelievable. That's such weird language for him to use. He says, cure me and free me, bitch. Dana is like, we have no intention of curing you. Did you not just hear my fucking villain speech? We need that head exactly as it is, deteriorating due to the marker. She then orders her goons to put him in stasis. The last thing we want is for him to die.
Back into stasis.
As she says this, the EarthGov ship that has been tracking Isaac on behalf of Tiedemann finds them. The ship shoots out the windows, killing Dana immediately.
Oh, shit.
And her goons, and causing enough of a distraction for Isaac to escape. Isaac manages to slide in through a maintenance hatch in the guts of the walls and away from the EarthGov ship.
Because again, there are two sets of villains here.
Right. No one has Isaac's best interests at heart. He's like, God damn it.
Like, yeah, they killed Dana and all her fucking people, but they're still gonna try to kill you.
Yeah, no one's happy about this. So as he escapes, he lands right on top of a massive necromorph. It ragdolls Isaac around before eventually knocking him through a window. He and the necromorph free fall into space and are sucked up into the atmosphere. They tussle and turn in silent zero gravity before Isaac falls back down to the surface and into an apartment complex. Isaac just walks this off and gets a FaceTime from Nolan Strauss, who's frantic as all hell. Dana told Isaac not to trust him, so, fresh off the heels of her betrayal, Isaac's willing to hear him out. Strauss was in the same facility under the same research as Isaac was, so he's probably also in the same boat of having the marker break their brains for blueprint storage. Strauss tells Isaac that they built the marker, the both of them, and they can tear it down. Strauss says the marker is in the government sector, and they need to meet there to tear it apart to end all this bullshit. I love that he has a plan.
Yeah, already.
The call cuts out, and Isaac is like, well, shit.
It cuts out again.
There's bad service on Titan.
Are they on 2G? Like, what the fuck?
It's Jupiter's moon, Tom.
Yeah, there's satellites, I'm sure.
Okay, yeah, you're... By this point, you'd think they'd have it, down packed, but shit's pretty wonky still.
Earth is still in control of another planet, so...
Yeah. And Isaac's just like, well, I guess this dude and I accidentally were used to build a new fucking marker and trigger a necromorph event. That sucks.
These damn cultists.
Strauss gets more reception and describes sessions where they were brought into a machine. Isaac doesn't remember what he's talking about at all, but Strauss says, that's a good thing. You don't want to remember it. Strauss then gets distracted with a vision of his dead son and chases the vision down the hall. Isaac tries to warn him that the vision isn't real, but Strauss hangs up on him. Isaac gets out into the city and hears a PSA from Tiedemann. Tiedemann wants all surviving squads to fall back and report to the government sector. He says that Operation Endgame is in effect.
Endgame? Oh no.
Isn't that so fucking cool?
I feel like he has ordered so many contradicting things so far.
You have to go with the most recent statements from Tiedemann. He's got a lot going on.
We have new information. Completely ignore all other information.
Yeah, but the newest information says everyone needs to go to government sector, which is exactly where we're trying to go.
All right, let's go.
The unitologists must be fucking Bath and Body Works rewards members because there are candles goddamn everywhere. They need that winter candy apple to mask the smell of rot and death in the air.
Oh no.
Isaac gets a call from Paranoid Strauss, who says, he wants me to crawl into the dark machine, but I can't go. She's in there waiting for me. Isaac tells Strauss to keep moving and get to the train. He tries giving him small, achievable goals to get through this. Strauss just says, he's coming, gotta go, and fucks off. The road to the government sector is paved with the stomped-out brains of necromorphs and former residents of Titan Station. Once Strauss gets a little lucid, he calls Isaac back and says, listen, here's how we destroy the marker. Step 1, crawl into the dark machine. Step 2, the screws go tight all around. Isaac interrupts him saying, I don't understand. The fuck are you talking about? Strauss isn't able to clarify before saying, oh god, he's back, and cutting out.
More cutting out. Holy shit. Take a shot every time they fucking cut out.
No, you'll die.
So's everybody else.
You're like, it's dead space.
Yeah.
So, again, he's not helping Isaac, and he's not helping anyone. He's really just having a moment at Isaac. In the city station landing, Isaac sees a woman who's actively goading the necromorphs and screaming at them. She has a plasma cutter and is screaming, Yeah, come on, you want this? While shooting their arms and legs off.
I love her immediately.
She calls the necromorphs motherfuckers and taunts them. I also love her so much.
Oh, I hope nothing ever happens to her.
She is such a badass off the bat, it's awesome. Isaac comes around like 30 feet from where she's standing, and she tells him to stay back. She says, "You want to talk? You talk to me from there." And then she FaceTimes him from where she's standing and says, "And don't say you're here to help. The last person who said that tried to kill me." From the video call, we see it's a brunette woman with low pigtails. She is an absolutely drop-dead gorgeous killing machine.
Hell yeah.
Isaac is calm in his approach and tells her, "Take it easy. He's not going to kill her." She says, "Hey, yeah, you got that right. You try it and you're dead." She hangs up on him. Isaac walks over to her and takes his helmet off. The two are separated by a gate, but they can still see each other and hear each other. He approaches and says, "Hey, I think we got off to a bad start. I'm Isaac." She looks at him, sizing up his bloody, sweaty body, and simply says, "Ellie, what do you want, Isaac?" She's busy hot-wiring a locked door, but gives him minimal enough attention. Isaac tells her he's trying to get to the transport hub so he can make it to the government sector. She stops her work on the door and turns to face him. She says, "What do you think we're trying to do?" Ellie's a regular civilian with a city job at the Concordance Extraction Corporation, the CEC. She is not a unitologist, and she is not a government asshole. She was just a woman who was at the wrong place in the wrong time.
She was supposed to be here today.
Yeah. I love her so much, and I just want her to protect me and make me feel safe.
And I want to protect her.
Aww. The Dead Space team loved her too, and at one point they had loose plans for a Dead Space game featuring her as a protagonist in a different title, if she was able to survive that long.
Already sold.
The franchise unfortunately did not make it that far. Isaac tries to connect with this absolute angel of a woman and tells her, "Hey, I can help you. Besides, you and I have a better chance if we stick together." Ellie says, "No." And then she calls him a liability. She tells him she'll release the door lock so he can move through, but tells him under no circumstances to follow her. I, on the other hand, would follow her off a fucking cliff.
She has no idea how much of a liability he actually is.
But also, she has no idea how helpful he is. He's survived a necromorph outbreak.
It's true. He's also the reason for this one.
Okay, she doesn't know that.
Exactly.
Isaac barely knows that. Ellie releases the gate that held them apart and escapes down the door she was hot-wiring. It closes as Isaac runs to it and loses beautiful, perfect Ellie on the other side of the door. Isaac pops his helmet back on, alone once again. He treasures back on the path to make it to the train, then take the train to the government sector. Isaac cuts through the Titan Station Elementary School, which is exactly as creepy as you'd imagine. There's a sequence where Isaac sees a survivor, a woman untouched by the necromorph outbreak. She's in a classroom that Isaac can watch through a window pane. On the ground is a small child,
Oh.
boiled over and crawling as the necromorph virus spreads through its tiny, bulbous back.
Oh, shit.
The woman is hesitant, but she calls out saying, "Come to mama." And the child crawls to her, and she holds it close to her body as it begins to blister out. And as she lowers her head to smell the child's forehead, the child explodes. The window is covered in both of their blood, blocking Isaac from seeing the wreckage.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Like in the fucking Cloverfield?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like what I would give for Isaac to have any goddamn kind of reaction. Because what the fuck?
Yeah, like I said, that Cloverfield death, that's one of the goriest PG-13 deaths, like, in history.
Bodies exploding fucking suck.
Holy shit, that is wild.
Isaac finds and kills more bulbous baby necromorphs, remnants of the second grade class that wasn't able to evacuate in time. In this instance, the children are the predators. Which is not what a child predator means.
No, it doesn't. Fuck. Chris Hansen comes in, he's like, "Why don't you take a nap?"
Have some lemonade. It's okay, because Isaac stomps all the child predators out.
Stumps him out. Jesus Christ.
The peak of the brawl exists in the auditorium, where where a group of feral first graders activate an all-out assault on Isaac. In the play area, Isaac has another vision of Nicole. She asks if he's still in denial. He tells this apparition he's not listening to this. He says, "You may fool Strauss, but he knows she's not real." Nicole hits him with a, "You claim I'm not real, but here I am, you're looking at me, what the fuck?"
Because you haven't been real this whole time.
Nicole is dead, god damn it. Isaac explains, "Hey, you're not real. I'm gonna go destroy the marker and end all this bullshit." Nicole yells at him and then hisses at him and then disappears. Isaac moves on and then gets a FaceTime from Ellie. She's holding someone at gunpoint and says, "Hey Isaac, I met a survivor who says he knows you. It's Nolan Strauss, and he's terrified at the end of Ellie's plasma cutter."
I was going to say, nobody knows you, but Strauss does know you. Okay.
She found the one guy.
Right.
Isaac tells her to take it easy. That's Strauss, and yes, I know him. We were in prison together. Ellie says, "He's twitchy and I don't trust him." I love her so fucking much. It's unreal.
You know what? Honestly, if she doesn't trust him, I'm on her side.
Isaac is gentle and says, "Ellie, I need him to not be dead." Ellie concedes and says she'll march him to the hub, but if he does anything stupid, she will not hesitate to shoot him, probably in the dick, and then she hangs up.
I love her.
Immediately, right? The three meet up in the transport hub, with Ellie and Strauss on an upper floor and Isaac in the landing below, looking up at them. Ellie mentions that she's a heavy machinery pilot, and Isaac tells her he's an engineer. To which she says, "Ugh, nerd."
It takes a lot to be a pilot.
Yeah, and a lot to be an engineer, and a lot is what she thinks is nerdy.
Oh my goodness.
The lights go out, which scares Strauss. Ellie tells him to shut up. Isaac wanders around the lower floor a bit and then gets a video call from the asshole himself, Tiedemann. Tiedemann is surprisingly not an old white guy. He's like a middle-aged, light-skinned black guy with a shaved head. He's in a government uniform in front of an EarthGov logo. Like, he looks like he's on a fucking Zoom call with a company logo behind him. He says that the two remaining runners were Clark and Strauss, his two escaped patients. He says it was a matter of time before they got to the transit hub, but they will find the train inoperable. Isaac yells at him because Tiedemann cut off all power to life support, which could really harm any other survivors out there. Tiedemann doesn't care. He says the public sector is already beyond acceptable recovery conditions, and he can't allow Isaac to escape. He says goodbye, and the call ends. A massive, thick-skinned necromorph emerges from the transport hub, and Ellie warns Isaac that it's coming for him. She shoots down to try and help, but Isaac is mostly on his own with this one. Ellie calls down from above and asks Isaac what he did to piss off Tiedemann and why Tiedemann cut off all the fucking power. I love that she blames him.
Immediately.
She's like, "You did some shit. I don't know you, but this is definitely your fault." Isaac explains that he and Strauss had come into contact with the marker and that they have the patterns of the marker stored in their heads. Tiedemann used Isaac and Strauss's affliction to create a new marker for EarthGov, which is what kicked off this wave of necromorph outbreak. And now, Isaac and Strauss want to go to destroy the marker and put an end to all the fucking drama. Ellie is just surprised that the marker is real. She knew some unitologists and thought they were always just like full of shit. And Isaac asks if Ellie will help him. She says, "Well, we're about to suffocate since the fucking power got cut, so I think I'd better help you, I guess." They make a plan to get the power back on in the station and then get the trains running again so they can make it to the marker and destroy it. Isaac goes to dust off some solar panels to get power running. Ellie watches Strauss and they help each other from afar. Isaac has to go, what I'm going to call outside, to fix some shit, so he gets to fly around a little bit.
You can fly in this. Hell yeah.
Well, you're in space, so it's like swimming, flying?
Okay.
Gunnar Wright loves seeing Isaac fly around. It's one of his favorite things that the character gets to do. Isaac gets his shit together to get the solar panels on and get power so we can fucking go. Once the solar panels are up and running, he radios in with Ellie to check in. She's been annoyed with babysitting Strauss because he's been so paranoid and he's been having a lot of hallucinations. As Isaac tells her the good news about the power, she and Strauss witness an outbreak of what she describes as thousands of necromorphs.
Oh, shit.
And of course, they're heading right for Ellie and Strauss. Isaac tells Ellie she should get out of there, just as her line cuts out.
Oh.
Sometimes people say things just to say things, you know? Ellie does manage to get herself and Strauss out of danger for now, and gives Isaac the heads up. This call arrives with Isaac while he's out in space. Ellie tells him that they have to get to the government sector before this horde of necromorphs cut them off, or they'll never make it out of the shits. She tells Isaac there's no way he's going to make it, to which he says, I'm going to make it. Then, this kicks off a signature Dead Space sequence where Isaac flings his flying body through space, evading falling debris and maneuvering through tight spaces.
Hell yeah.
Once he breaches the space atmosphere, he starts falling and manages to pull off a whole-ass superhero landing as he lands heavy back on Titan Station.
He hasn't been this cool the entire series yet.
Yeah, and now they're like, oh, he's got a woman to impress. He's trying to win over everyone's girlfriend, Ellie, from Dead Space 2.
Right.
So he's doing some Deadpool shit. Unfortunately, he's still separated from Ellie and Strauss upon landing and calls Ellie to make plans to meet up. They don't have a great track record, but, they're trying. In the quiet, Ellie is heartbroken. This morning, she was working with her friends, laughing, and then soon after, they started turning and she had to cut off their arms and legs just to survive.
Holy shit.
Isaac approaches her gently, telling her they're going to get through this. Ellie accepts this and they make plans to meet at the hub inside the CEC facility. Ellie worked there and she realizes all day she's just been walking around in one big fucking circle. She sends Isaac coordinates to a hub they can connect at and hangs up. Isaac enters the facility, which is obviously overrun with necromorphs. Isaac runs by a security station with tons of monitors all flickering with visions of Nicole. He hears his dead ex-girlfriend's voice rattling around saying, she'll be waiting for him. Isaac shakes it off.
I don't think he should at this point.
Yeah. I think this is a man who really needs to kind of accept he's going through something and tackle it. He's kind of avoiding a lot,
Fully.
Isaac runs into issues with access and dead ends, so he radios Ellie for help. He figures since she worked there, she'd have some clearance. She thought she would too, but unfortunately the system has assumed she is dead after the outbreak, and none of her clearance works. She blames goddamn Tiedemann, and Isaac hears Strauss rambling around with Ellie, telling Ellie she needs to see them. Then, Isaac hears screams before the line cuts out.
Oh, damn. And of course, the line cut out.
Again, terrible reception. Isaac kills more necromorphs and finally makes his way to the hub and reunites with Ellie and Strauss. He's relieved to take his helmet off and see someone who's not a monster again. Ellie sees him and says she's glad to see he's still got all his parts, which is like as nice as she's gonna be. Isaac asks if she's all right, and she says, yeah, no thanks to Twitchy over here, and gestures at Strauss. I love that she calls him Twitchy.
Twitchy's pretty good.
Strauss is sitting on a box, curled up in a ball, mumbling some shit about the 4 steps. Ellie tells Isaac he's getting worse. Ellie also mentions there's an industrial transport nearby, and it's on the same tracks as the commuter train. They could use that to get to the government sector, but one of them has to deploy it from the gear house, which is obviously going to be Isaac.
Right.
Isaac heads off to deploy the transport and gets another hallucinatory message from Nicole. This time, we find out that he and Nicole had only been dating for 2 years.
That's like a decent amount of time, but that's not an insane amount of time.
He was 43 3 years ago, so he's 46. 2 years, not a long time for a relationship.
Okay, yeah, at 43, that is a blip.
Yeah, at 18, yeah, huge deal. At 43, 2 years is like...
You're just getting to know each other.
Yeah, you've barely spent 2 Christmases together. It's not a long time. Well, you and I have been together for a really long time. Do you remember when we were together at the 2-year mark?
Yeah, it was serious, but it wasn't like crazy.
You might not even be talking marriage yet.
Right.
You might not have had the kid conversation. You haven't even explored getting a dog.
Or shouldn't have.
Get over it. She tells him it was the best 2 years until Isaac made her doubt herself. The guilt trip doesn't work. Isaac is over it. Also, 2 years, again, isn't very fucking long.
You call it guilt trip. I'm calling it gaslighting.
That's, there's overlap there. Those are not mutually exclusive manipulation tactics.
That's fair.
She also says that he pushed her to go to the Ishimura, that it was like he wanted her to leave. She taunts him about looking for her on the Ishimura during the last necromorph outbreak. Why would he come looking for her if he knew she was dead? Did he think she'd forgive him? Isaac has had enough and tells her to get out of his head. He tells her he knows she's not Nicole, because again, Nicole is goddamn dead. She opens her mouth and screams, "Who am I, Isaac?" and then disappears, leaving Isaac with a headache.
I don't fucking know anymore, Nicole.
Nicole's annoying as shit. Isaac does get the transport moving and picks up Ellie and Strauss, who board immediately. Ellie is pleased to see Isaac made it. I'm sure she's also just excited to have someone other than Strauss to talk to. Strauss goes up to Isaac and just said, "He's staring at me, Isaac!" Isaac yells at him to relax, but yelling at someone to relax has literally never worked in the history of anything. Ellie, who is a pilot, kicks off the transport to head to the government sector, finally. En route, Isaac looks out the window, and his heart drops. He says, "It can't be." As he looks through the glass pane, he sees what remains of the USG Ishimura.
Oh, shit. No, that shouldn't be here.
He's taken aback and says out loud, "That's the Ishimura." This means nothing to Ellie, and she calmly says, "Yeah, it is." That was the pride of the CEC until everyone on board died in a terrorist attack.
Terrorist? No.
Isaac is like, "What the fuck? That was not a terrorist attack." He explains that the Ishimura is where all this bullshit started, that everything that's happened here happened on that ship first, and that he was there when it happened. Isaac's trauma dump is cut short when the lights go out in the transport and it starts hitting bumps. Ellie rushes to the controls and says something must be blocking the track. Isaac goes outside to check it out to find, as he describes it, a giant tentacle wrapped around a big tank blocking the transport.
I just figured it was going to be bodies. This is way worse.
And you think for a moment, what could be worse than bodies? Yes, a tentacle wrapped around a tank. Ellie tells Isaac that the tank is explosive if it overheats, so Isaac blows up the tank and releases the tentacle. It works!
It's what I would do.
Yeah, science! There's one more tank to explode and a small boss battle to defeat before Isaac gets back to the group. Because of the tank explosions, the CEC facility begins to just kind of implode and fall in on itself. Ellie drives the transport as fast as she can with fire surrounding the transport, drowning it in flames. Miraculously, they make it out and all catch their breath once the fire is behind them. But the heat is still on. The three get a video call from Tiedemann himself. He addresses Isaac directly, saying, "I admire your persistence, Mr. Clark, but this is bigger than you and bigger than the lives of everyone on this station." Tiedemann is interrupted by a soldier alerting him that the final preparations for evacuation are almost complete. The soldier leaves, and Tiedemann says, "It looks like it all ends here. At this point, it's all just dead weight." And then the video call cuts out.
Oh, at least it didn't say it's all just dead space.
That's the name of the game! Ellie hates this and asks Isaac what Tiedemann meant by dead weight. Just then, a solar beam comes down and starts slicing the track in half.
I say from where? Obviously the sun, but fuck.
You answered your own question
Right.
there. Tiedemann has ambushed them and weaponized the sun to stop them from reaching the marker.
Sure, buddy.
Isaac has Ellie reverse the transport back to the station, back to where he saw the Ishimura. He figures if the gravity tethers are still intact at the Ishimura, he can fix the tracks and get them out to the government sector to fix all this shit. Ellie pushes back a little, but she knows she can't stop him. He tells her to stay ready and take care of Strauss. I think Ellie's just annoyed she has to babysit this motherfucker for a little longer, and she's like, "I fucking hate Twitchy."
She is fully capable of handling a lot of this on her own, and she keeps being kind of like subjugated to woman jobs. Quote unquote woman jobs.
Yeah, she's a heavy machinery pilot.
Right.
She's very much capable of doing shit, and she's still like, "I have to watch Twitchy? I fucking hate Twitchy."
Like, be a caregiver and shut up.
We only have the one helmet, Ellie. You
Yeah.
gotta stay here. Ellie has one final plea, telling Isaac this is a really bad idea. He says, "Stick around. I'm full of bad ideas."
I've got way worse ones.
It's the most flirty we've seen him, which is interesting, and it doesn't hit. Like, it's
You're bragging about being dumb, buddy.
yeah, like he's like, "I'm gonna riz this girl up," but he's like, "I'm dumb.
I'm stupid.
I know you called me a nerd. I'm not smart." Isaac hops into action, revisiting his old curb stomping grounds.
Nice. That was good.
The USG Ishimura is as dark and deserted as you'd expect. A lot of the recovered ship has been taped up, covered in tarp, and is kind of messy. For the world, it's been 3 years since the incident, but for Isaac, who has been in and out of consciousness, and mostly in stasis, it's like he barely left.
I think this is really cool that they take you back to the Ishimura to really, again, highlight what I was talking about earlier, where the world is so much fucking bigger to the point we can include the entire map of the first game as just a section.
It's so fucking cool, right?
That's really cool. And then I imagine they don't use the entire map, do they?
They do not.
No, okay, but still.
Yeah, that was a whole ass campaign.
Yeah.
We're going very specifically to grab something and get out.
Yeah.
Isaac tries to regularly check in with Ellie, not just for her sake, but for his own. Stepping foot back into the Ishimura is hard for Isaac, and he keeps having visions of Nicole. She is yapping and antagonizing him, saying she knows it's hard for him to be here, no matter how much he pretends it doesn't bother him, which is just annoying.
I don't even think he's pretending.
Yeah. You're like, there's no facade of him being cool. He's like, oh, this sucks. A lot of the Ishimura has been stripped, but there's still boxes, text logs, and other signs of life strewn about. The ship is running on low power, which is kind of ironic considering the circumstances of the first game. The low power keeps the lights sparse and leaves Isaac more in the dark than not. There's no necromorphs in the halls until Isaac meets a necromorph that I can best describe as a slightly smaller Godzilla.
Godzilla?
Like a babyzilla, like a demi-Godzilla.
Somebody was keeping a pet lizard and it turned into a necromorph?
My salamander is now a monster.
Or he was a reptilian.
Zuckerberg.
They were real.
It's bulbous and acidic, and its skin is so thick and calloused, it's almost armor. From here, the necromorphs come more and more out the woodwork for Isaac, and the stakes feel higher as he navigates in nearly complete darkness. Oh, I love it. Isaac gets the Ishimura's centrifuge up and checks in with Ellie. She's okay, and they're on track so far, but Strauss is getting, really bad. Isaac hears Strauss rambling and sounding like he's speaking to his dead child, speaking about his steps, weird, crazy shit. Isaac hears Ellie tell Strauss to put down the screwdriver before... And then the line cuts out.
And the line cuts out.
Seriously, don't make this a drinking game.
Wow.
This finally elicits a response from Isaac, who simply just goes, shit! A bit later, Ellie calls Isaac back and opens the conversation with, the bastard bit me!
Oh no.
Isaac is surprised because Strauss hasn't been violent yet, although we do know he did kill his wife and child.
Right.
And goes, oh shit, are you okay? Ellie says she's fine, but after that, Strauss stopped talking and now won't look at her.
I want to revisit what I said about rabies earlier.
This raccoon mouth motherfucker.
Like, holy shit.
He's got them possum teeth.
He's getting bitey.
Ellie checks on Isaac, who says he's almost there to activate the gravity tethers, so the plan is moving forward. So sorry about the bite mark, though. Isaac has to go through the medical deck, and as he enters, he hears Nicole. She tells him this is where her last hours were. She was frightened, cold, and alone. She's guilt-tripping the shit out of him years after her death. She's been dead longer than they were even dating.
Damn, that's a really good point.
The medical deck is blanketed in blackness, just like the rest of the ship, save for the hazardous waste stains on the walls from where former employees were torn limb from limb. On some monitor screens, Isaac sees a familiar sight of Nicole. Not like she's been in his hallucinations where she's cruel, but from when she was alive. When she was soft and warm and kind and ambitious. It's the video she sent him before she died. It's the video of her saying goodbye to Isaac and taking her own life.
Oof.
Somehow this feels more mean-spirited than his hallucinations taunting him.
What, making him watch her die?
Again and again and again.
Yeah, that is way worse.
But don't worry. Mean-ass hallucination Nicole comes back to Isaac, taunting him that he never found her body. That he never found closure or said goodbye. I think she's just making it very hard to move on with this fucking behavior, so he hasn't been able to say goodbye. Bitch.
Also, they turn into necromorphs after they die.
Yeah, so he's probably cut her up into pieces at this point.
She'd be fully unrecognizable anyway.
Yeah. She asks Isaac if he thinks she was just a random casualty if she turned into one of those things.
Yes.
I love your definitive answers on this. I'm like, well, obviously that's what happened.
The science has established that's what happens now when you die.
You know, and I've done some fucked up things to people, especially people I've dated, but this is on another level.
Fully.
This is way worse than, you know, making someone cry at an Applebee's, for example, but, you know, space is different.
Yeah, again, this is gaslighting to an nth degree.
Yeah. Oh, it's ridiculous. Isaac gets the gravity tethers up so the transport can continue on and tells Ellie he'll take an emergency pod and meet them there. All this commotion pisses off Tiedemann, who immediately calls Isaac to scream at him. He says that those gravity tethers on the Ishimura will tear the whole moon apart. Isaac simply hangs up on him.
Probably for the best.
And Tiedemann's like, the line cut out.
See how you like it.
Yeah. The hallucinations of Nicole are getting so much worse, and she appears standing right in front of him. She says, "Where are you going? Do you still think I'm something you can avoid? Bitch, he was in stasis. You opened up your wrists. Let him move on."
Yeah.
Isaac yells at hallucination Nicole, telling her he doesn't know what she is. Isaac makes it into an escape pod and checks up on Ellie, who says, "Hey, we made it, but holy shit, we're coming in fast." And then Strauss cuts in on the phone and says, "I need you to see what I see, Ellie. I promise it won't hurt."
Whoa. It won't hurt. You do not want to say that ever.
I never like hearing that.
No, and it never precedes something that doesn't hurt.
Never. Not in the history of anything. Ellie once again screams at Strauss to put down the screwdriver.
Oh my god.
Ellie yells at Strauss, "No!" And then, after screams...
It cuts out.
Yeah! You're catching on. The escape pod begins to malfunction just as a proximity warning comes on. As the pod begins to crash, Isaac braces for impact and then passes out. In the dark, Isaac sees Nicole and the marker. He hears Nicole say, "You were right, Isaac. The Ishimura is a great ship. I'm so lucky to be here. You made me stick with it." And then her voice hardens, and she screams, "You made me die!" So, yeah, you're right. The gaslighting. It's just abuse.
He supported your dream.
He encouraged you to chase your career.
Other people fucked up after that.
Yeah, it's not his fault. Isaac wakes up just a few feet away from his flaming escape pod. He gets a video call from Ellie, and she's on the ground, pinned down by Strauss. Ellie is screaming for Isaac, and Strauss is crawling over her with a screwdriver saying, "I promise this won't hurt a bit. Cross my heart and hope to die. Stick a needle in your eye."
Oh god, no, not more eye shit.
The video cuts just as the screwdriver pushes past Ellie's eyelid.
Oh. No, I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah, eye trauma is like...
It's the worst.
number 2 on my list of worst body traumas.
It's so gross, and I earnestly put off doing this episode for a while because I heard there was eye stuff in it.
Yeah.
Isaac screams out, but there's nothing he can do.
Ugh.
Isaac runs through a mining facility that he just fell into, stomping necromorphs out and desperate to meet back up at the transport and help Ellie. He gets a call from Strauss, who sings to him, "I see you." Isaac screams at him, asking why he did it. Strauss says, "I can't face it. I thought Ellie could. I had to make her see. Step 3. Isaac says, "What can't you see? What's the last step?" Strauss explains, "Her. It's what they were afraid of, that I'd face her and destroy the marker. But it's too much. You have to help. You need to see. Step 3. Then Strauss hangs up on Isaac, who yells out, "Damn it!"
What is happening now? Like, he wants her to see, so he stabs her in the fucking eye?
Yeah, he's all fucked up. And like,
Ugh.
at this point, we are pushing a silent protagonist into screaming swears, which is just how bad it's getting for Isaac.
Right, by the 3rd game, he is just Spider-Man.
He's doing quips and shit. He's got dad jokes by the 3rd one.
Yeah, we had to build up to that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You know, the ramp up does feel earned. He is reacting more, and he's like, "Oh, I hate getting hung up on. Come on, guys." Isaac navigates to where the transport hub should have stopped with Ellie and Strauss. He comes up on a gate and is reunited with Strauss, who's holding a bloodied screwdriver with an eyeball at the end, the way an olive hangs onto the cocktail pick in a martini.
Jesus. Oh, stop reminding everybody you're an English major, for fuck's sake.
Tom is physically uncomfortable. I'm not trying to say I'm an English major. Fuck you.
It's looking like the Neversoft logo where it has like the fucking eyeball that's stabbed.
Ah! Strauss says, "There you are, Isaac. We've been waiting for you. It's your turn." Isaac sees this and screams out for Ellie, who emerges from the shadows behind Strauss. She hits him with a pipe as hard as she can and knocks Strauss the fuck out.
Good. Fuck yeah, Ellie. She's been wanting to do that for a long time.
In the light between the dark shadows, Ellie's right eyelid is squeezed shut where her eyeball used to be.
Poor thing.
She looks at Isaac with her remaining eye and points at him, screaming, "You owe me an eye, you bastard." She's so fucking cool.
Oh, that's her only reaction to it, though. That's fantastic. She's gonna look so fucking cool with an eye patch, too.
I know. She was maimed and calls Isaac a bastard.
Right.
Like, even in the worst moments, she's the coolest person on Earth.
On Titan.
On Titan, you're right.
Yeah.
Strauss goes to lunge at Ellie again, but she's been over his shit for a minute and flicks him away with her pipe effortlessly. The gate between them shuts, and Isaac is once again shut out away from Ellie and Strauss. Isaac hears them arguing and runs around to catch up with them. As he does, a tentacle bursts from the walls and wraps around Isaac's leg, dragging him through wreckage.
I don't remember so many tentacles in the first game.
Yeah, there's a lot of tentacles here. It's pretty fucked up. There is a hallway scene where there's like a necromorph arm tentacle situation that drags him around. It's super fucking great. There's a lot more here.
What kind of experimentation were they doing in this fucking place? Holy shit.
Bad experimentation.
Clearly.
The tentacle slams Isaac against the walls purposefully before flinging him into zero-gravity space. Out here, battered and bruised, Isaac gets an update from Strauss. Strauss says, "Ellie won't help, but you'll see, Isaac. You'll see her after step 3. Ellie takes the call over and tells Isaac that Strauss took off and ran deeper into the mines. Isaac tells her he has problems on his end too, which is an understatement, and to get somewhere safe.
Girl, we've all got our problems.
Honestly, facts. Isaac gets back indoors and tells Ellie he's on the ground again. She's worried because Strauss is on the loose and looking for Isaac. Ellie says she found something he's going to want to see and sends her location to him. He says he's on the way, and again, please stay safe. Isaac navigates around necromorphs and hotwires a door to open. As it opens, Strauss comes tumbling through it, screwdriver with the eyeball garnish in hand. Garnish? Was it garnish?
No, just all the imagery.
Okay. Strauss yells, "There you are," and grabs Isaac's shoulder. Strauss says, "You have to face her for me. Tell her I didn't mean to do it. See her." Isaac screams at him, saying, "It's me!" and opens up his helmet so Strauss can see his face and calm the fuck down. Physically, Isaac is an ass kicker, so he struggles a little bit, but is able to calm Strauss down and get the screwdriver down and away from his own eye. Strauss pushes back on the screwdriver, and Isaac reacts, knocking it up and across Strauss's skull.
Oh, no.
The screwdriver enters at Strauss's left temple, and blood trickles down out of his head. The eyeball, now mushed into the man's mind.
Oh, fuck. I was going to ask if the eyeball was still there, and it just pushed into him. Oh, Jesus Christ, this game.
You're gonna have fun dreams tonight.
Oh, fuck.
Slowly, Strauss slumps over dead as Isaac cries out, "Why did you do it, Strauss?" So there goes the plan of keeping Strauss not dead.
Right.
Hallucination Nicole's voice rings out in Isaac's head, saying, "It's a shame what happened to Strauss, but that's what happens when you fight it." Isaac is beyond fucking over this and screams at the hallucination to shut up. Just shut up. Then he says, the marker, "It was you. You made him do it. You made me kill him, didn't you?" Nicole simply states to Isaac, "How is it you still haven't come to terms with who I am?" "Who am I, Isaac? I will only ask you one more time before the end. Be ready."
I have no idea myself.
She's being just purposefully cryptic and annoying.
Yeah.
Isaac runs off to meet back up with one-eyed Ellie. As he approaches, he's met with hallucination apparition Nicole, the kind that can grab at him. She grabs his throat and holds him up like a dog by the scruff and screams at him. Moment of truth, Isaac. Who am I? Am I your friend? Your lover? The one shred, one light, one bright shining star you clung onto in this universe? Or am I your guilt, crushing the life out of you because you can't get over the fact that I'm dead, that you feel responsible? Who am I, and why do you keep fighting me? Why can't you let go?
Girl, have you seen Ellie? Even with one fucking eye, she is way cooler than you've ever been.
Deadass. Isaac's helmet has gone down for this, so we see his face fighting for breath in apparition Nicole's grasp. She slams his body against the wall while squeezing his neck. Through tightened breaths, Isaac admits, "'Cause you were my everything, and if I let you go, I got nothing left."
Oh.
As Isaac gives this admission, Nicole drops him to the ground. Her whitened eyes are whole again, and she looks like the Nicole he remembers. She simply says, "Step 4, acceptance."
Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah.
He made her whole again?
It's what she's always wanted.
That's how?
Well, this is like a space dementia situation.
Sure.
It's not always going to feel linear. It's not always going to feel complete.
Okay. And also, this is not like the steps of grieving, because that's not step 4.
No. Nah, that's way the fuck later.
This is just Strauss's step 4.
This is Strauss's bullshit space dementia step 4.
All right.
Isaac drops to his knees, gasping for air to fill his empty lungs. Nicole walks away, saying, "Now you're ready to finish this." When Isaac looks up, hallucination Nicole is gone. Isaac is battered and exhausted, but powers on to find Ellie, who again is so much cooler than Nicole and so far hasn't strangled Isaac not even a little bit.
Not once.
Ellie is relieved to see Isaac and shows him a massive mining drill that she found and just needs some minor repairs. He tells her that Strauss is dead, and Ellie says, "Well, I'm not sorry to hear that."
She's just sorry she didn't do it.
She's managed to find a bandage for her eye socket, which is fantastic. Ellie asks what the plan is since Isaac needed Strauss to destroy the marker. Isaac is like, "Well, he couldn't help us anyway. He's all fucked up. He was consumed and running away from his guilt." Ellie says, "Well, what about you?" Isaac says he's not running anymore. He knows what he has to do. The drill is a stroke of good luck, at least. He resolves to look for a power cell for it so he can get up and running. Ellie goes up to see if she can get the drill started. Isaac gets the power cell and hotwires the drill to work. Ellie is in the driver's seat and starts moving the mining drill through the mines and the fuck out of here. A wave of necromorphs are attracted to the noise and jump on the machinery, and Isaac plays defense while standing on top of the drill. It's really cool. Most of the guts of the mine are rock-based, as we're on one of Saturn's moons, but occasionally the drill hits something that gushes blood.
Blood.
Ugh. Isaac sees it's the necromorph rotted flesh spreading across the walls like black mold.
Oh no, it's spreading across rock now?
Yeah. Unlike black mold, the necromorph rot spreading into the seams of Saturn's moon's sediments is sentient, and as the drill slices into its extended flesh, it brings more necromorphs out.
Oh, the alliteration, everyone.
Oh, thank you. I'm an English major. Did I mention that? Ellie apologizes for running into them, but she really has no choice, so it is what it is. Isaac is again riding on top of the drill to keep the necromorphs from swarming Ellie, so he's particularly bummed out about this strategy, but he gets it. Ellie manages to drive the drill underneath the government sector. Isaac says, "Great. How do we get in there, though?" And Ellie says, "Well, we have a giant drill."
Right?
Isaac goes, "Okay, Ellie. Ellie, I'm on top of the drill. Don't drive the drill into a building." Wait, Ellie, what are you doing? Wait, Ellie, no.
You're gonna get clotheslined.
Ellie drives the giant drill into the foundation of the government sector building, and Isaac goes flying off the top of the drill into the government basement.
She's driving with one eye.
Her depth perception's all fucking off. And
Yeah.
she's a pilot. She's like, "I'm driving on the ground. This is crazy." Isaac peels himself off of the floor, saying, "Holy crap, that hurt." He looks down about 2 or 3 stories to see Ellie at the base of the drill. Ellie tells him, "We can compare bruises later, but we're here. Go get your marker."
Yeah, it fucking worked.
I love that she's over him. Isaac says he'll find a way down to her and heads off quickly. He's concerned that the big-ass hole from the big-ass drill will attract more necromorphs. From below, Ellie informs Isaac there's a docked gunship that's in good condition. It's not trash, so now they have a way out of Titan Station.
Oh, and she's a pilot.
Yeah, exactly. Isaac tells Ellie, no, it's too dangerous for her to stay here. He wants her to just get the fuck out of here. She tells him to shut up and get his ass over here. She's going to run a systems check on the ship and make sure they're all good, and then they can secure their exit strategy. She's hot, she's smart, she's sassy, and she's about her survival. I love her, and I need her to protect me from the evils in the world.
Where is the spinoff with her?
Girl! Isaac comes to the docking bay where Ellie is standing inside the gunship, flipping buttons, I don't know what the fuck happens in a ship, making sure it's ready to go. She tells Isaac to get his shit together and get in. They can leave and get the fuck away from here for now. Isaac takes off his helmet and turns from her. He's still on the platform and not entering their escape vessel. She asks what he's doing. Isaac begins manually deploying the gunship Ellie is in from the station. She video calls him even though she can see him from the cockpit and demands to know what he's doing. She screams at him and says, "Don't you dare launch this ship." She's screaming at him more and he tells her, "It's your best chance, Ellie. You got life support, comms. Hey, you're gonna be rescued." She starts to quietly cry and calls him a bastard.
Uh-oh.
He looks at her as the ship starts to take off and says, "I need you to be rescued. I couldn't save Nicole, but I can save you, Ellie. So, bye."
Ugh.
As Ellie's ship ascends into space and the signal for the call cuts out, Isaac leans on a wall and slides down to a slump on the ground. He inhales, accepting he sent his last chance off of this moon out into the sky.
That was dumb.
You're like, that was bad.
Yeah, I feel like you could have figured this out, bud.
This was Gunnar Wright's favorite scene to perform.
Oh.
As Isaac swallows his acceptance of truth, he hears Nicole ask, "Are you ready to talk now? Now that your girlfriend's gone?"
Right.
He shakes his head and says, "Why? So I can let you down too?" "I can't do that, Nicole. I never wanted to let you go." The apparition of Nicole is slumped on the ground near him. Nicole hugs her knee and tells Isaac, "A lot happened that we never wanted." She pauses and then asks him, "Isaac, touch me?" She reaches out her hand across to him. He closes his eyes and simply says, "I don't think that's a good idea." She softly says, "Isaac, please, make us whole." Isaac brings himself to his feet and walks near her. He doesn't turn his body to face her, but simply tilts his head at her and says, "I can't." Nicole sits in silence as Isaac deploys his helmet back on. By the time it's locked into place, she's gone again. Isaac starts walking through to find the marker and gets another video call from Tiedemann. He is furious and basically says, "Fuck you. I don't know how you're alive or how you made it here, but I have 200 armed personnel and every entrance is covered. Even if you do get in, you won't get far." Isaac hangs up on him. The big-ass hole from the big-ass drill did indeed bring in a shit gang of necromorphs, so Isaac's busy anyway.
No way.
Like, it's crazy how the thing you thought would happen. After the necromorphs, Isaac does run into a bunch of Tiedemann's men who open fire, as promised. This is more of an annoyance than an obstacle. The game doesn't have a stealth function, but Isaac is apparently quite light on his feet because he's often not found by gunmen. There's sections where Isaac can remove power cores to kill the lights and drown them in darkness, which feels particularly devious. Tiedemann voice calls Isaac again because he's so obsessed with him to call him an idiot because now the marker is compromised. He stays on the line while he directs his troops to seal off the marker. Isaac says nothing and hangs up on him again. He's like, "Thank you for the exposition. I gotta go." With the lights killed, Isaac sees necromorphs crawling out of every shadow throughout the building. The walls are painted with the blood of government agents and dismembered necromorphs, and Isaac's boots get sticky with substances. A gentle-voiced apparition Nicole asks Isaac where he's going. He says, "I don't know." He sounds like a little boy who just got caught. She approaches him and tells him, "That's why I'm here, to show you the way." Once again, she holds her hand out. There's a light glowing from her palm, begging Isaac to follow her lead. Then she disappears. Isaac heads deeper into the government sector looking for the marker. The halls are highlighted with emergency power and painted with pain as bigger and meaner necromorphs meet Isaac. Isaac moves forward and doubles over in pain. He holds his head and says out loud, "What is that? I can feel it in my head." Nicole's voice answers him, saying, "We're getting closer, Isaac. The marker knows you're here." He tells her he still doesn't know what to do. She reassures him, "When the time comes, you will." Isaac enters a chamber and sees a massive, multi-story tall red marker. It's protected by plasma cutters, giving Isaac an interesting puzzle to navigate. It's big, but it's not even what's calling to Isaac right now. Isaac goes deeper into the guts of the government sector and comes upon a full 15-story tall skyscraping marker.
Oh, shit.
It's as wide as a Costco, and Isaac looks up at this massive marker. He is in absolute awe of it and takes off his helmet to truly take it all in.
How big was it in the first game?
Not this fucking big.
Okay.
He looks up and says, "Oh my god, I built that?" The marker almost looks alive with a greenish yellow tint shining and pulsing through like veins under pale skin. Isaac is probably at about the quarter height mark in the platform he's found the marker on. After taking in the height, he looks down to the base of the marker. He's horrified looking down at hundreds of necromorphs all at the base, all waving their arms and pumping their fists at their holy landmark. Nicole tells Isaac they're all coming to the marker. Convergence is at hand. Tiedemann interrupts Nicole with a video call to Isaac. He is so fucking annoyed at Isaac. He opens with, "Clark, I knew you were trouble from the start, but they told me you were necessary, that your mind was the purest. I spent years sifting through your demented brain. This is not the way it was supposed to happen." Isaac is fucking over it too, and he goes, "Well, how is it supposed to happen, Tiedemann?" Tiedemann just goes, "We had it under control. This was not our fault. We were so close to understanding it." There's an explosion at the base of the marker. Light fills up Isaac's viewing window, and Tiedemann's video shakes and stutters. Tiedemann blames Isaac for this. He points down at the necromorphs and says, "It's all those bodies you let in. It's triggering a convergence event, but we never expected this many bodies." The explosion kicks off again, and this time the video call, guess what? Cuts
out again. Oh my god.
The marker glows hyperchromatic colors, and Isaac shields his eyes from the shine. Isaac asks out loud what the marker is doing, and Nicole reaches out to hold his arm and calm him. She says, "What it was made to do, Isaac. You have to make us whole." Again, she has one fucking agenda.
Right.
The space around the marker swirls, and some bodies fly up into the sky, surrounding the space of the marker. Isaac leaves the viewing space and in the next room finds a human-sized machinery tube. It's kind of like a CAT scan machine, clearly a small space where someone has to crawl into and be completely flat on their back.
Okay.
Isaac remembers out loud, "The machine. Just like Strauss said, I remember this. This is the machine that activates the part of our brain where the marker codes were stored."
Oh shit.
But how does that threaten the marker? What were they afraid of? Nicole is standing by the machine and answers, "Me. Us. Working together." Isaac nods and says, "Step 4. Nicole confirms this. "Yes. Are you ready?" Isaac looks down the barrel of the machine and says, "This is gonna hurt, isn't it?" Nicole says, "Yes. Step inside."
Acceptance.
In a flash, Nicole is gone, and Isaac activates the machine. Nicole's voice lingers, and she narrates, "Step 1. Crawl inside." Isaac crawls in and lays on his back. Step 2. The screws go tight all around. The machinery activates, and metallic arms shoot out around Isaac's head, locking him in place. Braces come out of the machine and forcibly open Isaac's eyes, like the clamps used in LASIK surgery. You're not gonna like this.
Nope.
Nicole's voice comes back. "Cross my heart and hope to die. Stick a needle in your eye."
Not more fucking eye needles. Come on.
A red laser lights up Isaac's face as the needle point of the light traces around his face, landing in his right eye. Isaac's breath gets heavier as the laser locks into his pupil. The machinery tracking his vitals beats faster and faster along with his racing heartbeat. Isaac grinds his teeth and begins to panic as a needle emerges through the laser right above his pupil. The camera holds tight as the needle enters Isaac's eyeball.
Why?
I fucking hate this shit. Holy fucking shit. I didn't want to do this game because this is so fucking hard for me to watch, so you're goddamn welcome. I hate it. I hate it so much. I can't get over it. I fucking hate this shit. I didn't play Death Stranding, but I had to study this scene to explain it, and I probably should have just done fucking Death Stranding.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not driving right now because I'm closing my eyes physically because just hearing that is like making me want to protect them.
I hope you guys read the trigger warnings on this episode.
Oof.
The needle hits resistance through Isaac's eyeball, and as it does, his jaw releases and his mouth hangs open. Visions of unitology symbols flood Isaac's field of vision as the marker codes are unlocked out of his mind again. The needle releases and retracts back up into the machine, and the eye clamps are removed from Isaac's head. He closes his eyes hard, and a gentle trail of blood trickles down his cheek like a tear. Isaac's head is released from the machinery, and he's manually rolled out of the tube. Isaac sits up at the base of the machine and calls out for Nicole. Her apparition returns, and she's glowing bright white. Isaac has to shield his good eye from the shine as she tells him to follow the light. She'll be waiting for him at the marker. Isaac pops his helmet back on and heads to the marker. The station shakes with a low rumble as the convergence event activates and permeates through the entire compound. Isaac hears Nicole's voice again. She tells him, "You're fighting it. You can't fight it. You have to let me go." He tells her, "But I'll never see you again. My 2-year girlfriend." She tells him to stop it. There's no other way. You have to do this. Isaac keeps going, and just before he reaches the marker, Nicole tells him, "This is it, Isaac. Convergence is almost here. Meet me at the marker." Isaac continues on, fighting legions of necromorphs, and makes it to the bridge to the marker. He is drowned in light as he approaches a beacon calling to him. As he gets as close as he can, before he can touch it, a spear is flung directly through his torso, impaling him.
Oh, no. That's supposed to zoom by you. not get you.
I got him.
Fuck.
Isaac doubles over in pain and hears Tiedemann declare, "The research in that marker is worth every life we just lost." Tiedemann's body is ravaged from the marker. He is half burnt, with his face beginning to rot off. He holds his spear gun up again and shoots Isaac one more time.
Ugh.
We haven't seen a spear gun yet, so it's like really extra fun to be like, oh, there's spear guns on fucking this moon. Great.
Right.
Isaac peels the spears out of his body, and Tiedemann stands between him and the marker. Tiedemann says, "I won't let you throw all this away." He points the spear gun at Isaac's head. Isaac knocks the gun and grabs Tiedemann's arm, grabbing it and bending it backwards until he hears a break.
Oh.
Isaac pulls the gun from Tiedemann's dead arm and shoots him through the neck.
Hell yeah.
Tiedemann grabs at the spear just as he falls to his knees, fighting for his last breath. Isaac stands up and walks around behind him and shoots him one more time, blowing the head clean off his body.
Don't even give him a chance to become one of the things he fucking worships.
Hell yeah. Tiedemann finally falls to the ground, dead. A glowing apparition of Nicole stands with her hand out at Isaac, beckoning him to join her. Exhausted, Isaac drops the spear gun and removes his helmet to look at Nicole. She cradles his head in her hands, and he wraps his arms around her. She says, "Thank you, Isaac. Now, time to die."
What the shit for her?
He says, "What?" And apparition Nicole starts floating, and light pours out of her screaming mouth. Isaac blinks and is now in a battle arena.
Oh no, this was the plan all along.
Yep. It's a black, rocky plain surrounded by the same greenish-yellow glow of the marker. It appears Isaac is now inside the marker itself.
Ugh.
Nicole's voice cries out that yours is the last body we need to be reborn. The makers must be absorbed. Isaac says, "The makers? You mean me? But Strauss said we could destroy the marker." Nicole counters with, "Not if we consume you first."
Oh my god, no.
He yells at his dead girlfriend's apparition, saying, "God damn it, I trusted you. Fuck you, and fuck your marker."
Fuck Nicole.
Okay, so Tiedemann knew that the marker would call to Isaac, like with the fucking space dementia. And with Isaac's death at the hands of the marker, the convergence event would occur, causing a catastrophic necromorph event. Tiedemann spent his last breaths trying to save Titan Station by keeping Isaac away from the marker, but the marker's hold on Isaac was stronger than Tiedemann and all his resources. Tiedemann wasn't really a bad guy.
Oh my gosh. You cannot trust, and then you have to trust so many different people.
The only person I will hardcore ride for is Ellie. She's never done anything wrong in her life. And
Never.
She calls everyone a bastard.
That's how I knew I could trust her.
Because she called everyone a bastard?
Right. She wasn't trying to get you to like her.
You love a mean-ass girl.
No, it's just that everybody's trying to get you to like them has a fucking agenda.
That's true in life.
And Ellie, she had no agenda.
She doesn't give a fuck if you like her.
Yeah.
You bastard.
So you knew you could trust her.
Glowing apparition Nicole approaches Isaac, and Isaac shoots at her. She screams at him to make them whole. Make the marker whole again.
Right.
The wind kicks up dust, and the world gets cloudier, darker, and more dangerous as Isaac navigates the marker. Waves of necromorphs defend the marker from Isaac. Nicole tells Isaac that he will make them whole. So he starts blasting back at her and shooting the apparition out. The rock walls of the marker begin to break off and reveal a beating, glowing, greenish-yellow ball that has been aching at the center of the marker. It pulses like a heart, so Isaac aims to break it like a heart.
Hell yeah.
Isaac shoots at the center of the marker's heart, and it reshapes its own rock wall around itself. Another wave of necromorphs fling themselves at Isaac. As he takes them down, the rock wall of the marker breaks off again, revealing the heart one more time. With this one, a wave of energy raises the surrounding necromorphs to float in a circle around it. Their bodies are limp as they orbit their holy structure. Isaac shoots at the heart again until the rock wall reforms. Nicole's voice rings out, pleading with him that he's hurting her. Isaac is busy with a third wave of necromorphs. She begs Isaac to just give in. Let me kill you. The horrors persist, but so does Isaac. With a third round of shooting at the marker's heart, it finally explodes.
Oof.
Glowing symbols of unitology explode out of where the marker once stood. A sonic boom rings out, and Isaac sees all white, then all black. Then, he's back at the government sector where the marker once stood. The building is dark and deserted and begins to collapse after the explosion. Isaac slumps down on the ground, sitting, knowing he finally destroyed the marker that he was tortured into creating. He takes off his helmet and holds his head in his hands, defeated. Isaac sits at the edge of the world while the end credits roll over him.
Fucking A.
After the core cast credits roll, Isaac gets a video call from one-eyed Ellie.
Hell yeah.
She starts the conversation with, "You complete bastard.
Hell yeah. I was gonna say, please tell me it's you bastard.
What was your great plan? Dump me off and die?" He sighs and says, "I'm full of bad ideas, remember?" Ellie flicks some switches in the escape pod he sent her off in and says, "Yeah, well, here's another one. I'm crashing through the roof to get you. Now move your ass." Isaac stands up and says, "Wait, no, Ellie, it's too late. You have to steer clear of the station." She doesn't give a fuck.
Hell no.
She says, "Yeah, well, you don't really have a say this time. Heads up."
Time for one of her bad ideas.
Isaac braces himself as a crash comes from above, and Ellie's escape pod flies down to pick him up. The building's gravity security fails, and Isaac is shot up and flies to the escape pod.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ellie pops out the door and reaches out and calls for Isaac as he flies up to meet her hand. She grabs him and pulls him into the ship, closing the door behind him. Isaac takes his helmet off and slides into a seat of the pod, exhausted and finally able to catch his breath. He takes a moment of peace and looks over at his co-pilot, Ellie. She looks at him and goes, "What?" In the final end credits scene, we hear audio of two unknown men talking. One reports that all of Titan Station is lost, including the marker. The other says that the other sites will have to pick up the pieces.
God damn it.
Dun, dun, dun.
The other sites.
The other sites. And that is the absolute fucking wild world of Dead Space 2. Now, I would be remiss to not bring up the chapter titles at this point now that we're on this end of the narrative.
I was wondering if this one had chapter titles.
So I'm going to read them off and kind of show Tom what we're working with. So the chapter titles of Dead Space 2 in order are Dementia, Outbreak, No Turning Back, The Children of the Marker, Tormented Faith, Reluctant Companion, Uninvited Guest, Space Engineering, Tram Incoming, Nightmare Relived, Into the Dark, Crash Course, Overrun, Light in the Tunnel, End of the Line. And Tom, what do the first letters of each of those chapter titles spell?
Fucking hell. That doesn't spell fucking hell, but it spells out, don't trust Nicole. Of course. Of fucking course.
Are you okay?
For them to do it twice in a row.
Yeah, it's kind of a
that's
trope.
ballsy, yeah. God damn.
And you shouldn't trust Nicole. She's the marker.
Ever.
Nicole
is evil.
You dated for 2 years, bro.
Get over it.
Get over it. It's like a high school sweetheart in your mid-40s, man.
You are much better off with Ellie.
You can get on Space Tinder today and find someone way fucking cooler. And hopefully it's Ellie. She is a fucking Cyclops pilot, my guy.
Get on Tindermorph.
Tindermorph? I hate it. Unitology meat. Ugh.
Well, Goombas, if you enjoyed that.
If you weren't grossed out by that.
I don't know how you... No, I'm kidding. That was fantastic. Thank you so much.
No, but it was gross.
It was really, really gross.
There were parts that were genuinely painful for me to go through. Again, eye shit fucking sucks. I hate eye shit.
The worst thing humanly possible.
I don't like putting in eye drops. Like,
Right.
That's my level. And I have to because my eyes get dry occasionally. We're in the desert. I dry out. Ugh, got my fucking lizard eyes and shit. But the world of Dead Space is so cool. It's so well crafted. There's so much care and love into this world. The Unitology cult's crazy. Necromorphs are wild. Isaac is incredibly charming. Gunnar Wright, as Isaac, is incredibly charming. He did a fantastic job. I really appreciated his performance. As much as I didn't like parts of this game purely because it was gross.
Right.
And Ellie is an amazing character. Just a bad bitch. The first time we meet her, she's like, I'll kill all you motherfuckers.
She was like the Coltrane.
Yeah.
Just die, motherfuckers!
Fully! Like, I am here for bloodlust. And then outside of that, she's a fucking pilot? That's cool as fuck.
And a babysitter.
Yeah. She's more than that, okay?
I know.
Oh, I'm not sad Twitchy died, but okay.
Well, Goombas, please make sure you like us, you subscribe to us, you rate us and comment, all those fun things. And if you enjoyed us, please go to our website, theothercastlepodcast.com.
That's theothercastlepodcast.com.
Over there, like we said before, there are links to all of our socials as well as our Patreon. Speaking of which, our patrons help keep this show ad-free, so we want to give them a shout-out.
We love you.
Starting with Lil Brimstone, Landon, Honorbon, Matthew,
Zan, Autumn, Alex, Sid,
Jutsu, Mozart, Tamiya,
Hippity Hoppity Cthulhu on your property, Ian, Danny Boy 31, Zira,
Ari, Big Cat PDX, Chase, Alfredo, Mikolaj,
Taramek, Amber, Berserk Panda, QM 1993, Damien, that chunky boy,
AJ porting to the bridges, Paul, Omar, Aaron, Cerise, Unuseful,
Molly, Krisha, Molly Mock, Jackie.
Jacob, Ellen, Steamed Hams from Albany.
Thank you all so much for your support. We appreciate everything, and we love seeing you in the Discord, and we will see you next week for another episode.
Thank you once again for listening, and this is Tom and Andrea reminding you.
Call everyone bastards. It gets people to like you.
And don't skip the cutscenes.
Don't do it.
Bye.